Hello, Jeff.
Hello, Paula.
How are you?
I'm absolutely fine today, thank you.
Thank you so much for talking to us today about your experience with changing your own voice prosthesis.
No problem.
I think it'll be really useful for people to hear about your experience, and also if they're thinking about whether it might be something for them. I think it'd be really good to get a bit of an insight from someone who's been doing it for a while. So
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. So the first question is, how long ago did you have your laryngectomy?
The actual operation was on the 28th of August 2012, which was 7 years and 8 months ago.
Okay. And did you have any other treatment, Jeff? Did you have any radiotherapy treatment?
Yes, approximately 3 months after the operation, I had radiotherapy, which was 30 treatments.
Okay.
That was probably as bad as the blooming operation, but it's all right. You will have all been through that.
And did you have a voice prosthesis in following your surgery? Did they put one in after your surgery?
Yes, after the drinks test,
Yeah.
they put one in for me, and it was fine.
Yeah. And was that a valve that the nurses and the speech therapists changed at the hospital?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, originally. So what changed your mind, Jeff? When did you decide you wanted to go for one that you could change yourself?
First of all, I heard somebody talking somewhere at a meeting, and I thought, that sounds good. And also, Mr. Woodhead asked if I would try to do my own valve, so I decided to give it a shot.
So it was a bit of a combination between something you wanted to do, but then also the medical team was saying, we think you'll be able to do this.
Yes, exactly. So it worked quite well, and I was quite happy to give it a try.
Brilliant. So what happened in that first session then, when you were first introduced to thinking about, right, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to have a go at teaching you to change your own?
There were two nurses. One showed me how to do it as it happened. The other one was on the phone. When she'd finished on the phone, she turned around and said, "How's Jeff doing?" Well, I'd done it anyway, because for me personally, my personal thing, I didn't find it very difficult. So it went quite well.
Mm-hmm.
With regards to the valve,
So
it is.
Yeah, it looks a little bit different, doesn't it, to the valves that the clinicians put in?
Yes, it's like rubber, for want of a better word.
Very soft. Yeah.
I'd refer to this voice prosthesis now as a valve. It's easier to say.
Yeah.
Right? That's how we'll call the tail. Okay?
Yeah.
So after about 15 minutes, bingo, we were in. A couple of tips. There's the little grey thing, which we will call the applicator. Here's the valve. On that applicator, it will say top. So the tail of the valve goes in there first.
Perfect.
When that's done, that That's what the valve looks like when it's ready for insertion.
So that applicator, Jeff, that you're showing, that helps you put the gel cap onto the valve.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
I will not go into that too much. The nurses will show you how to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Beyond
easy,
that.
Sorry, Jeff. How easy do you find it to change your own valve? Is it relatively easy?
Yes. No problem. I've never had a problem with it. It will be very hard to make a mistake. I find it is very safe. Very safe.
And do you have a set sequence of events? Do you set everything out before you do it?
Yes, I do. I have my bowl of water, which you need, swabs, a stent, tweezers, good quality long tweezers, a mirror, 3 magnetised mirror, and of course you wait 3 to 4 minutes. The one thing I would say is when you're preparing your valve, if you prepare the valve first to insert it before you take the old valve out, because it will be very quick, right? I would also advise, I find, try and change your valve first thing in the morning when you get up, before you have a drink and anything to eat. It's much easier that way and less chance of anything coming walloping out. Okay. When you have installed the valve and you come to your drinks test, I prefer to use a hot drink, tea or coffee, because the gel cap at the end of the valve sometimes will stick and you find yourself trying to talk and nothing happens, and that's because the residue of the valve, of the gel cap, is still there. So the hot drink melts it away and then you can't talk. Okay. After that, we come to the plaster. Now then, I prefer to use Micropore surgical tape. There are 24 rolls in that box. Right, the size is 1.25 centimeters wide, half an inch in English, 9.1 meters long, 10 yards in English, and I need a drink. They cost £9.98 at this moment in time for 24 rolls. To about 5 years. If you go to some chemists, you could pay £1.50 for a roll 3 meters long, which is rather expensive when you're having to do this every day. Okay, so that's one tip. When you come to sit your base plate on, I prefer to leave a 5mm, quarter of an inch gap at the top, clear of the plasters. You'll probably see it on there. When you stick the base plate on, that will stick to the tail of the valve you have left exposed. That gives you 2 points where the valve is stuck. For extra safety, as it were, if you like. Once you've done that, fine, you're to trot. Right, you've done it. Right, that's about all there is to actually doing the complete thing on a valve, base plate, cassette, the old bit.
So
Okay.
what would you say, Jeff, are the advantages of changing your own valve? What?
Right, for me personally, I think it makes you more self-confident. Okay, you are now in charge of your own destiny, as it were, because you're doing everything yourself. All right, which is a big plus. You no longer have to contact the hospital because you're leaking for them to change the valve and all the paraphernalia of buses and parking and all the rest that goes with it. Right. So that's one advantage. You've no fear any longer as to how long the valve will last. Because if it leaks, you can change it yourself. You're totally self-reliant. Okay. Holidays abroad. Now, I personally go abroad on holiday with my wife because I take a spare valve with me so I can have a worry-free holiday. I don't care if the valve leaks. I can change it myself. I've got my life back. Thank you very much. Right. So that's a big advantage. But when you go, of course.
Are there any disadvantages, Jeff?
Very little, I would say. The only disadvantage, when you request a new valve, or two of them, always request that valve. I need to drink.
Okay, no problem.
When you fit the second valve, then immediately get in touch with the hospital and request two more valves. Never leave yourself without cover. At this moment in time, that's the only thing I can find that is a disadvantage. I don't think there is any more. There's many more advantages than disadvantages.
Thank you.
Of course, it releases the nurses in the ENT to deal with other things because you're now doing it yourself.
So
okay.
What about follow-up? Do you see the team in ENT anymore? Do you?
I see them from time to time, as I am now. If I want to see them, I'm sure I can. I've never had a problem if I needed to see them. In my case, it's been fairly rare.
Yeah.
Because I found once you're in control, you're confident, off you go. You don't really need them, only if something is wrong, then of course you need to contact them. So there was one follow-up. I had a stretch a couple of years ago, and they followed that up about, I think, a year later to see if I was all right. I was fine, and that was that. Discharged again.
Oh, that's good. Oh, thank you, Jeff. That's been so helpful, so useful.
Right. If you want to edit any of that out, Paula, be my guest.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I do